Arby's just released their Deluxe Wagyu Steakhouse burger, and I wanted to see if we can make it vegan. And I think I did. Now, I didn't want to use just any regular off-the-shelf vegan burger for this. No Beyond, no Impossible. I wanted to make my own because Wagyu is different, and I needed to be able to control every aspect of it to try to nail those flavors. And I'm so glad that I tried this because this ended up coming out.
This is one of your best. I mean,
yeah,
it might be the best.
So this vegan Wagyu Steakhouse burger ended up being the best vegan burger I've ever made or had. So let me show you how to make it. The first thing that we're going to make is the fat. Now, it's no denying that Wagyu beef is incredibly fatty. So we're going to make a decent amount of it, but we're not going to end up using all of this. So I'll explain why in a little bit. So we're going to start with 1 cup of water on a slow speed in a blender and add 1.5 tablespoons of methyl cellulose. Then with the blender still spinning, add 1/2 cup of coconut oil and make sure you drizzle that in incredibly slow. If you pour too fast, it won't emulsify and you're going to end up with just a weird, like, gooey separation. Now, Beyond uses coconut oil and canola oil for their fat, and Impossible uses coconut oil and sunflower oil for their fat. I'm using coconut oil and avocado oil for my fat. Now, the reason why I'm using the avocado oil is it has a really high smoke point, and I want this to have a really fatty mouthfeel, so I don't want all of that oil to kind of just like melt away. I want some of it to stay with the burger. Now, Wagyu fat itself is known to have a pretty incredible flavor, so I'm going to add just a touch of mushroom seasoning to this and yeast extract, Marmite. Now, one of the tricks that Beyond does to kind of help slow down the melting process of their fat is they use cocoa butter. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to melt about 2 tablespoons of cocoa butter and then slowly drizzle this in while it's on a low speed. And then that's it. It should just be a little bit thicker than mayonnaise. So now we're just going to spread that out over like a baking sheet or a small sheet and throw that in the freezer so that way it can freeze solid. Hey gang, real quick, let me tell you a little bit about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring and creative classes for anyone who loves learning. Now, you all know that I love learning new things. It's why I'm doing YouTube. I'm showing new things that I'm learning. It makes me excited. And with Skillshare, you can learn new things all of the time. I mean, I've taken so many classes, everything from plant to cup, brewing the perfect cup of coffee. I just did the class with MKBHD on learning how to do YouTube. And right now I'm working on a class, Finding Fulfillment Using Pivots to Power Your Creativity. That's by Emma Gannon. And this class has been amazing. It's the power of the pivot, finding your why, exercising your core values. There's so many things in this class. I'm a little bit through. I'm already loving it. Skillshare can help you make 2022 a year of new learning, growth, and connection through creativity. So if you have a specific skill that you're trying to learn, Skillshare is the perfect place to start. So gang, the first 1,000 of you to sign up using my code SauceStache or using the link in the description below will get a 1-month free trial to Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Skillshare, thanks for sponsoring today's video and always just having the most incredible classes to where I can learn some of the most amazing things. So now let's work on our burger mixture. So we're going to start with 1 cup of textured vegetable protein. So normally I use pea protein for my recipes, but I want a little extra binder. So we're going to be using wheat protein, 1/4 cup of gluten flour, 1.5 tablespoons of methyl cellulose, 1.5 tablespoons of mushroom seasoning, 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder, 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. Now I mixed this up, but I actually forgot about adding some garlic powder. Now let's move on to our wet ingredients. So let's start with a teaspoon of Marmite, about a teaspoon of blackstrap molasses for that irony flavor, about a teaspoon of soy sauce, a few sprinkles of liquid smoke, a teaspoon of vinegar of your choice, and now let's whisk in a cup of cold water. Once we have that whisked in and it seems like it's pretty good, you want this mixture to be fairly wet, go ahead and give it a cover and then let it sit for at least 20 minutes. I'm going to throw mine in the fridge so that way it remains cold. So while we wait for the fat to freeze and our burger meat to hydrate up, let's make the Arby's burger sauce. So we're going to start with 3 parts vegan mayo, 2 parts ketchup, 1 part vegan barbecue sauce, a few plops of sweet relish, a touch of vinegar, and a sprinkle of sugar. Now we just need about 70 turns of black pepper. I mean, however much black pepper you want, but I like it kind of peppery. Now we just need to whisk this up with our mini whisk and then quickly realize we forgot to add mustard. We're just going to add 1 little drop of Dijon mustard, whisk this up, give it a taste. Is it good? Yes. So toss that in the fridge. Let's grab the meat, let's grab the fat. We're going to combine these together. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to use this whole thing, so I'm going to start slow, but I did end up using most of it, almost all of it, you can see. And that's okay. This is supposed to mimic Wagyu. It's fatty. So instead of making my normal 1/4 pound burger, we're going to be making a 1/3 pound burger. I couldn't find any measurements on Arby's for how big their burger was, but I mean, it looks pretty big, right? So I'm going to go with a 1/3 pound. I think that's a safe bet. So this recipe ends up making about 1.5 pounds of meat. So at this point, we're just going to season it up. I'm going to be using my my burger seasoning, which is just a combination of salt, pepper, MSG, and some McCormick burger flavor. Now I'm just using a cast iron pan that is lightly oiled. I mean, you shouldn't need much because these things are gonna be juicy. I mean, look at the way they sizzle. Now in about a minute, you're gonna see most of this pan fill up with oil, and that's because that's what happens. That's why we added so much. Otherwise, the burgers dry out, which is what happens with Beyond and Impossible when you make them too thick or you throw them on the grill, they just get dry. This burger is going to change that, and that's why this burger tastes so freaking good. So at this point, I'm just gonna top these with some Violife cheese. I'm gonna throw a cover on top so that way they kind of like steam together. Then on a separate dry pan, we're gonna toast our buns and then get ready to put this all together. Now to mimic the Arby's preparation, we're gonna start with our bottom bun with some of the sauce, pickles on my version, not on Monica's, and then red onion, the burger, 2 slices of tomato, a healthy topping of lettuce, even more burger sauce. Top that bun, we have created the Arby's Deluxe Wagyu Steakhouse Burger Vegan. Cheers.
Cheers. Good. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a great burger.
Wow. Like, what do you think about the meat?
Yeah, it's great. It's very meaty. I love it.
God,
Very burgery.
I hate saying this because, like, I always, like, I say this. People always ask me, like, what's the best burger you've ever made? I'm kind of leaning towards this.
This is a good one. The burger is really meaty. It tastes just like to me, like it reminds me of a burger. It's really good. The texture is really firm.
Yeah.
The flavor is really nice. It's kind of like tender. You know, it's not soft. It's just tender, like a tender piece of
Like
meat.
a tender burger. How Wagyu would be.
It's good. It's a good, I mean, it's a delicious burger. I love it.
Yeah.
This is one of your best. I mean,
Yeah.
it might be the best.
I'm really happy about it. This is about as close as you're going to get.
I don't even think, like I was saying, like I don't even think it's like you're almost there. Like I think it's like along the same line.
Yeah, this is a great burger.
Just
I
as
mean,
good. It could be marketed just as good. you know,
we
with
could
it.
grill these, and I mean, shoot, I might just come out with this burger. This is good. I don't think I'm going to do that, but
Why not?